Good morning, Frank here. Haven't been around for a little while, but I'm back. I've had a few adventures as we've gone along, primarily a recent and ongoing adventure with Lowell's and the refrigerator. The previous thing that has actually kept me offline here for a while is the selling of my condominium over on Citrus Club Lane. What a nightmare. I owned the condominium for 18 years, and although there's been some challenges from time to time, the last 6 months, or since November anyway, have been a total nightmare. One of the challenges that we've had with Citrus Club over the years, it has the old gray plastic poly plumbing in it, which is prone to leaks, and I have had a few leaks over the years, and actually a few floods from time to time, and probably have spent, well, based on one major incident I had, which cost me about between $6,000 and $7,000 to get that repaired. Probably the rest of the time has been maybe $1,000, $1,500 more. Tolerable because the unit has always been a positive cash flow, and I've not even had to take the tax advantages other than the interest in order to not to pay any tax on the income that I get from it. So overall, it's been a great investment. In fact, when you figure the cash on cash, that is the amount of money that I put into it initially, which was actually less than $2,000, and this last year it's been actually giving me a monthly profit of close to $400. So that's not a bad return on a monthly basis at all. Wow. Anyway, anytime I can invest $2,000 and get a $400 a month income, I'm ready to go on something like that. So I really didn't want to sell this unit, but it's about an hour and 15 minutes away, so if I have to actually go up there, it is a big problem. And so I don't like to do it, and it's actually been an aggravation over the last 10 years that we've moved down here into Poinciana, and a big headache, even though it was profitable. Anyway, back to the latest of the last 6 months' nightmare. As I indicated earlier, we have the polybutyl plumbing in the system, which is prone to leaks, and we've had many over the years. So when the condominium association told me they were going to repipe the unit, I thought, wow, that's going to be probably a good deal. But it just got worse and worse and worse. Apparently the plumbing company that they hired plumbers that weren't actually plumbers to come in and do the work. To do the work, they had to come in and knock some fairly large holes in the walls in order to get to the old plumbing and to connect it to the new plumbing, which would go inside the house. And although this took way too long, it was supposed to take 1 to 2 days, after 2 weeks, the plumbing had not even been installed, and there were leaks in the new connections that they made in the plumbing. They did fire the plumbing company and brought in a new company at some point during this story. I'm not exactly sure when that happened, but anyway, they finished getting all the piping done, and so the next thing was to bring the drywall people in to finish off. So the drywall people came in, and they stopped after about an hour because they found out that the plumbers did not put the pipes inside the walls, but a lot of them were 1 inch to 2 inches outside of where the wallboard needed to go. So they stopped, talked to the management company, and, well, I talked to the management company daily and sometimes multiple times a day during this time, trying to get this thing fixed. You do remember I have a tenant living in the house at this time, and basically the house is uninhabitable. And I thought a few times about, maybe offering a hotel or a motel for them to stay in. It was a man and his girlfriend who lived there. They have been very good tenants, always paid their rent on time. In fact, they paid it before time in almost every case. So anyway, I'm getting quite aggravated with this, and again, like I say, calling the property manager several times, as well as the president of the association, and sending multiple emails out to the various board members who are responsible for this travesty. So anyway, after some time, about 3 weeks, we finally get into a place where we can start to put some drywall in. When they start to do the bathroom, they find out there's a leak from upstairs that probably came from the air conditioning condenser, and so they stopped again while that was getting taken care of. I had previously talked to the owner of the upstairs unit about this, but apparently they did not get it taken care of. And during the time that the plumbing in the kitchen was getting taken care of, they did notice that there was a leak from the plumbing upstairs in the kitchen, as well as there looked to be a small leak from the kitchen faucet that was coming down. So again, the drywall people stopped and left, and I contacted the owners of the upstairs unit again and advised them about the situation. So I thought everything would be taken care of. The drywall people were not able to come back until about a week later. So during this particular time, the owner upstairs apparently did not fix the problem, and because the leak had caused the kitchen ceiling in my unit to totally collapse. Now I really have a unit that is totally uninhabitable, and I'm feeling very, very sorry for these people. I did give them a $50 reduction in their rent for November, a $100 reduction for December, and after the kitchen collapse, I told them not to pay the rent until we got everything resolved. And during this time, I'm again talking to the management company as well as to the board president and sending email messages to all the board members expressing my displeasure and anger to get this done. So anyway, finally, after about another week, and I think we're down to around January 15, 16, somewhere in that particular area, the drywall people were actually able to get back in, got the ceiling fixed, and a couple of days later they were come in and did the finish work, got the repainting done, and everything looked pretty good. I made an appointment on January 20th to go inspect the unit with the tenant, and although I was not expecting a good experience, when I got there, everything actually did look very good. The tenant was happy with the situation. There was only one small place in the dining room that needed to be repainted, and I negotiated with the tenant that he would be able to do this. Also, during the first part of January, I decided I had enough of this nightmare, and so I decided to sell the unit. I offered the unit to the tenant without the use of a realtor because I could take a discounted amount and still end up with the same amount of cash on the end, and he agreed to do that. That will be an oncoming story for the next video vlog, because this one here is starting to get a bit too long. But it was another interesting experience as we traveled through the next 3 months trying to get the property sold. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like. Ring the bell. And I'll be back again, maybe in the rain.